Welcome to another live stream watch long reaction. Tonight we're watching and reacting to Forge FC versus CF Montreal in the first leg of the 2025 Canadian Championship quarterfinals. Montreal, of course, got here by beating Toronto on pens. Forge beat Halifax. Here we are, a rematch of one of last year's biggest upsets, when Forge beat Montreal to get to the semifinals of this tournament last year. Will that happen again? Or will Montreal bounce back from their absolute ass-kicking they took last Saturday against Toronto FC, that being a league match because, of course, right? And if they bounce back, can they be angry enough to make Forge the team that regrets seeing Toronto go up 6-1 and beating Montreal like that? We're going to find out. As well, no away goals. These semifinals, quarterfinals and semifinals of this year's Can Champ, no away goals. Just read that. So away goals do not matter. A team has to win outright if they aren't going to go to penalties in the second leg. I think it's still straight to penalties after the second leg, though. So, somebody has to win outright. How we doing, Dylan? How we doing? But we got Forge v. Montreal at Tim Hortons Field. No, I'm not calling it Hamilton Stadium or whatever else they're calling it now. It's Tim Hortons Field. With that being said, the second leg of this tie is on July 9th. I will try my utter best to cover the second leg when it happens. I have to look at the schedule, but worst comes to worst, I'll try to at least put it in with a double to do the second leg of this, because it would suck not to do it now that I'm doing the first leg because the Leafs lost. I would have been doing a Leafs game right now if it weren't for Game 7 being such an ass-kicking. But, hey, I'm still here tonight. It's just a Forge game, which I'm not mad about that. At least, well, I'm still mad about the Leafs losing. But the fact that I'm still here for a Forge game and watching Forge beat Montreal again, hopefully, I'll take it. I'll take it. You have to weigh the good with the bad, yeah. With that being said, starting 11s. How we doing, Sean? How we doing, Rory? Let's put this over. Tomorrow will be live for the UEFA Europa League final. Of course, we'll review that. So we'll be here 2 p.m. Central, 1:55 Central for the UEFA Europa League. So let's just be clear about that. But, yes, that was the wrong way. There we go. Hit the like button. Let's get this one going. I feel like Red Bull should win that game. Oh, St. Louis is playing San Antonio on Friday, the UFL. Should I? No. I'll take the off day. Hell, St. Louis already made the playoffs of the XFL. Both got eliminated the Apertura quarters. Well, that sucks. Starting 11s are as follows. Let's get to those. For Forge, in goal, Yasim Kolalat. In goal. The back four, Marko Jaramovic, Daniel, Noah Jensen, Malik Olabi Belau. The midfield four, Alexander Akinyoti Janssen, Kyle Becker, Rezart Rama, Mo Babuli. No, Mo Babuli would be up there. Up the midfield two. Nana Mpoma in the front two, Brian Wright and Mo Babuli. Thought Mob had it wrong a little bit, but it is what it is. Montreal in goal, Jonathan Sawa. The back four of Alexander Guboglo, Brennan Craig, Joel Waterman, Fernando Alvarez. The midfield two, defensive midfield two of Victor Lattori, Nathan Saliba. The attacking midfield three of Kwadwo Opoku, Dawid Bugaj, Tom Pierce, and Prince Owuzu up top for Montreal. All right. Let's see what happens. Can Champ quarterfinals, boys. I have not heard about that, so I can neither confirm nor deny. Didn't even hear a rumor about that. Speaking of things that I heard. Speaking of things that news pieces that I did see, recipes to Gadi Kinda. It's sad to see. The man was 31. And out of nowhere, he passed. You hate to see it. Former Sporting Kansas City player, Gadi Kinda. Prayers to his family and friends. And prayers for his soul. May the Lord protect his soul. And may the Lord welcome him to heaven with open arms. Amen. Well, yeah, I knew that. I didn't know he actually changed his ethnicity. Hamilton Forge wearing the orange. Montreal wearing their light blue jersey. No. Forge. Forge has cooler jerseys. Are you out of your mind? I agree. But he plays pretty well, so I trust Cole a lot. I trust him. Yeah, the world is a life is fragile. When God calls your name, he calls your name. Got to make the best of it before that happens. Got to make the best of it all before that happens. He was a damn good player. He was a damn good player. He strong on the ball, had a good shot sometimes. He was too good for Kansas City. I'm not going to lie. Like Peter Vermees at the end there when he was at Kansas City, Gadi Kinda, he was too good for Kansas City. He was too good for him. Like honestly, I feel like he did get let down by those teammates that he had over there when he was there. He just played in the Europa League a couple during the knockout stage, or during the group stage, of course, with Maccabi Haifa. Yeah. Just months ago. That's what's even crazier. Aside from the hosts, Argentina, Iran, New Zealand, Japan qualify for World Cup 26. There's still 41 teams to qualify. Yep. And we'll see those play out. And besides, speaking of World Cup qualifiers, thanks to the Leafs choking like the chokers they are, don't worry, there will be a lot of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying second window of round 2 coverage at the start of June. It's probably not a bad thing because that's probably what I should be doing. But do I kind of hate it the Leafs choked? Yes, I do. But I will be doing the CONCACAF coverage for the World Cup qualifiers at the start of June. So thank the Florida Panthers for beating the shit out of the Leafs for that. Speaking of, also, Liga MX final we'll be here for on Thursday and Sunday. Forge starting 11, Kolalot, Jaramovic, Olabi Belawu, Daniel Rama, Becker, Alexander Akinyota, Janssen, Babuli. He is in the midfield. Okay. Jensen, Wright, and Poma, the starting. Japan's already in, so doesn't matter to me. Japan's already in. Yeah. If Japan had meaningful games, I would have done them. They're already in. So, no reason for me to wake up that early or stay up and then go to sleep. No reason. Ben Hoskins is the center ref here. No away goals, by the way, in this tournament. CF Montreal, Sawa, Alvarez, Waterman, Craig, Pierce, Lattori, Saliba, Bugaj, Opoku, Owusu, Gaboglo. Ooh. So, Thought Mob had it wrong. Yep. Maybe we'll see if I do a Morocco game. If a Morocco World Cup qualifier pops up on beIN Sports, I might. I'm not saying yeah, I might. And it also depends on the timing of the CONCACAF games. Speaking of, June 3rd, there will be the draws for the Central American and Caribbean Cup. We'll be live for those as well. Because, again, it's all CONCACAF now, baby. Thank you, Toronto. Thank you, Leafs. September, okay. Well, we'll see what happens in September. We'll see. Well, okay, not in June, but in September, if there's a Morocco game that I think is pretty appetizing, and we're off, we'll see. Here we go. Canadian Championship quarterfinal, leg 1. No away goals in the quarters or semis of the Can Champ this year. So you have to win outright or you go to penalties after the second leg. Playing down. Oh, Sawa picks it up. Right. Doesn't get the best chance on that. Forge trying to repeat their upset of Montreal last season. Well, I don't have Amazon Prime anymore, so I did not watch All or Nothing. The Leafs were already a reality TV show. They did an All or Nothing for the bubble season, for the Canadian Division season. With the way that ended, hell, I didn't watch it. I had Amazon Prime for like 3 years after that, and I didn't watch that All or Nothing season because it would have given me pain that I already lived through. What was the point? So no. And TFC, I mean, they have All for One, which at least good news is that's free on YouTube. I watch All for One pretty religiously, so yeah. But they did make the Leafs into a paid reality TV show on Prime Video with that bubble Canadian Division season, and I didn't watch that because of how painful it ended. So, and now, why not use third-party apps? I still don't want to watch that All or Nothing season. Even, 4 years later after it? No. Besides, well, yeah, no, Prime Video, you can pirate off of a good bit. It's Apple TV that's Fort Knox, but either way. And also, they do show the Thursday Night Football games on Twitch anyway. So, I don't need Prime TV to watch the Thursday Night Football on Black Friday and all that. Which is good. The games that are played on Prime, which is good. Because I still want to watch those games if I can. Don't the Patriots play on Thursday night this year? Once at least? I think you have to watch it over the TV Twitch app, though, which I have. Because that one time Sasuke and Kunoichi. Because the site that I use to watch Sasuke doesn't really work anymore. But there's always somebody on Twitch who streams Sasuke and Kunoichi. So, it works. Playing forward, 3rd minute. 0-0. Cleared away. Craig, that'll be a corner for Forge. I agree. It's just funny he has more Game 7 goals than Marner and Matthews. How's that possible? Oh, what a choking group of players. I mean, you have the right to joke about that because you know what? I don't know how it's possible. Solid player. I'm not saying he wasn't, but dude was basically a third liner, a shutdown third liner, and he has more Game 7 goals than Matthews and Marner. What are we doing, man? The more I hear, the more I'm pissed off, which this isn't the first time. It's not the first time. Over the top. Probably won't be the last. Well, that Tampa team went to the Stanley Cup the next year. So that's actually, yeah, okay. But hey, at least when the Jets went down, they went down fighting. See, Dylan's probably not as pissed off because the Jets went down fighting. And it sucks that Mark Scheifele, it's sad Mark Scheifele's father passed. But the sad part, the even sadder part, is Scheifele scored the goal to give the Jets the lead in Game 6 and then basically gave away the penalty that led to the game-winning goal in overtime of Game 6. Like, that's got to be the worst roller coaster of all time. It really does. But even then, the Jets still fought. The Leafs didn't do any of that. But again, prayers for Scheifele's family. It's sad to see how that went, but I think Mark made the right decision to play. I think Mark's dad would have been proud of him. I think Mark's dad would have wanted him to play, and he did. And Sawah goes down in the net. Oh, is he really hurt? He's just lucky he wasn't a penalty shot. I'm surprised it wasn't a penalty shot. I won't even lie. I'm not saying he didn't. He had to. But they were pretty close to killing that penalty anyway. But, I mean, there's kind of an argument that it should have been a penalty shot anyway. I was surprised it was... I understand why it was 2 minutes. I think the refs made the right decision. But if you went by the letter of the law, and the refs given a talking to Akinyote Janssen and the goalie, Sawah, I think it was better the refs gave the 2-minute power play. But cross in. Header. Oh! Shot! Oh, Levi Bellawoo puts it wide. Free kick the other way for Montreal, 7 minutes in. Good chance for Forge. They couldn't pot it. But, again, and, you know, I watched the video where Peter DeBoer was mic'd up after during the handshake line. That was so classy. Like, that was a classy moment. Like, Peter DeBoer had compliments for every player. Of course, Peter DeBoer gave Mark Scheifele his condolences for Mark's father. But, like, Peter DeBoer was so classy, though. Like, I have a lot of respect. A lot more respect for Dallas than I did. And Peter DeBoer after that video. I'm not saying I hate the Dallas Stars, but I have a lot more respect for them. Our luck would probably be Dallas versus Florida, so I'll probably have to root for Dallas anyway in the Stanley Cup final. But Forge, Montreal ain't that good this year. If Forge could beat a Montreal team that was a little bit better last year, Forge should win this, especially at home. Corner for Montreal. He wasn't a player I was criticizing on the Jets, really. Cross in, punched away by Kolalot. That was a questionable punch. Prince of Wuzu's on the ball. out for a throw for Montreal. Yes. But again, he wasn't one of the players I was criticizing really at all. Hellebuck, of course, especially on the road. And you know what sucks? Game 6, Hellebuck probably had his best away game all playoffs, and they still lost. Like, that's gotta suck. Like, Hellebuck finally had a really good performance on the road, and they lost. That's just gotta, damn. Like, every away performance he had up until Game 6 against Dallas was a duck. Was a floating duck. Every one. And then Game 6 was pretty masterful, and they still lost. Man, hockey's a cruel mistress. Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe Will Kane will see them win a Stanley Cup this year. Wouldn't surprise me. I'd prefer it over Florida. What if it was Dallas versus Carolina? I don't know who I'd go for, really. I don't think Carolina's going to make the Stanley Cup final. I think Florida's probably going to run them. I'd prefer it to be Edmonton versus Florida again, and I'll root for Edmonton again, just like I did last year. But if it's Dallas v. Florida, Dallas. If it's Carolina versus Dallas, I'm not sure. There's things pulling me both ways. I'd like to see Rod Brindamore win a cup as a coach. He won one as a player. I'd like to see him win one as a coach. Plays through. Shot! Jensen, goal! 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 Noah Jensen's offside! No! Noah Jensen is offside! They call him offside. Noah Jensen puts it into the back of the net, but he's offside, and it's still 0-0. But Forge, I don't think so, though. Wright might have been the one who was off, but there's no VAR, so. Nope. That sucks. But spins around, cleared away. Over the top. Crossed in. That's out for a goal kick for Kolalot. Forge has been playing pretty well. It looks like Wright was the one who was offside. Yep. That's a better call. Yeah, no, I understand that. But again, no VAR in the can champ. So even if they wanted to overturn it, they couldn't. Which makes no sense considering I don't think there's any VAR in the Canadian Premier League. But there's CONCACAF VAR, which Forge has been in CONCACAF either way, and MLS. MLS VAR. But then again, I guess because of the League One Canada teams, no VAR. I guess that's why. More likely than not. But would they overturn that on VAR? I'm not completely sure. But Wright did touch the ball, so I think they made the right call. Hopefully Forge doesn't regret that. Doesn't come to regret that. Plays forward. That'll be cleared away by Montreal. 13:08. Yeah. Corner for Forge. Forge has been the better team so far. I'm going to be real. They are freaking running Montreal's show, I'd say, which I'm not surprised. Anybody who's paying attention shouldn't be surprised. Forge is running Montreal's show. It is Forge's. I did not hear about that Winvo, no. Here's the corner for Forge. Saved by Sawa! That'll be a foul the other way. And Montreal almost headed that ball into their own net. Man, how much comedy would that have been, especially if that stayed a goal. Sawa got fouled, though, by Owolabi Belawu. I guess that was the call the other way, yeah. Forge is playing well, though. Oh, Jensen was pressing heavy. Wait. Yeah, Jensen was pressing heavy. I was like, dude, okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense, considering Crunchyroll's the biggest anime streaming service out there. But hey, if you want to watch free anime, guess what? There's a lot of free anime channels on Pluto TV. Wink. Which, that's totally legal, by the way. Pluto TV is totally legal, by the way. As well, you know what I just found on Pluto TV that's pretty cool? They have a 24/7 F1 channel that shows old races and tech talks and about like the F1 cars and all that. If it's a non-severe weather day, or for me, or a day where it's a clear day, like heading into it, there's nothing coming on for like 3 or 4 days before, I'm probably going to keep it on the F1 channel at this point. That's pretty cool. I like F1. No, I love F1. It's an amazing sport. I love Formula One. It went away when Apple TV started, but yeah, I wish they were still there too. But I love Formula One, and I don't mind watching old races either. So, and guess what? Yes, I do cheer for Ferrari. So yes, the pattern's still there. I cheer for a team that's a damn joke, that loves to choke. Don't worry. You think I'd be rooting for McLaren at this point, which they really just got good. I mean, Jenson Button had a good season for him, but now with Lando and Piastri, they're pretty good. I'd say McLaren's my second team. Like, I'd prefer McLaren to win over Red Bull, especially Lando, but, you know, it is what it is. Either way. But, no, the team I root for is Ferrari. So, no. The pattern's still there. I root for chokers. Except for one certain Tom Brady, I root for chokers. So, do that what you will. And I guess the ghost of Dale. Mobland on Paramount's a great show. Yeah, Mobland is a good show. Shot! Blocked! And Wright gets it blocked away. Here's a chance for Forge. They still have it. Ampoma. Mobland is a good show, I've heard. Fire Country is good as well. Oh! That should be a free kick for Forge. Huh. That's a bad call. I'm surprised it went the other way. Okay, let's see. I still think Prince Owuzu probably should have got the benefit of the doubt there. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see now. You know what? That is a good idea. That is a good idea. Of course. But he's not even Red Bull anymore. He races for Williams, I think, now. So, Hold on. Doesn't Checo... And besides, then he raced for Ferrari. That was long ago. Checo raced for Ferrari, then Williams after Red Bull. And then he got pushed out of Ferrari because of Lewis Hamilton, which... I'm more of a Charles Leclerc guy, by the way. I'm not really a fan of Lewis Hamilton. He's like the F1 Jeff Gordon. And I didn't like Jeff Gordon, so do that what you will. Oh. Who am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of? Oh, he was Red Bull. My bad. Who was I thinking of? I got confused then. Ford is doing pretty well. No, yeah, Checo was Red Bull. Why did I think he was in Ferrari? Who was I thinking of? Okay, I'm confused now. I confused myself. No, he was Red Bull in 23. I think I was getting my wires crossed. Maybe I was talking about a similar situation on both. My bad. Carlos Sainz. That's... Oh. Yeah, no. That was my dumbass fault. Oh, no. They pushed Sainz out of Ferrari, but yeah. Yeah, they pushed him out too. See, I got my wires crossed. I always do that sometimes. Sainz and Checo. Sometimes I do that. I've done that before. It's not been the first. I don't know why I do. I just did. But speaking of, I still ain't a fan of Lewis Hamilton, though. So Sainz was the one who went to Williams. Okay. Is my brain working? Yeah, I might see it. I don't know. Maybe I'll wait for it to come out on Netflix. But it looks like it's going to be good. Brad Pitt as an F1 driver is just... Okay. But we'll see. Yeah, no, he was Red Bull. My bad. Yeah, Red Bull. New League for Sports, European League of Football. Yep. It's okay. Mm. Who's on Red Bull? I think it's Tsunoda, I think. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, Tsunoda replaced Checo. Was that a good decision? I don't know. No. But hey, they still have Max Verstappen. That's got to be stupid. You have freaking Tsunoda as your second driver when you have Max Verstappen. That's the dumbest shit. I mean, compared to Checo, yeah, no, that's dumb. Like, dropping Checo for Tsunoda is dumb. I'm sorry. Like, dude, you really just downgraded by like 3. I'm sorry. You downgraded by like 3. Like, I don't think. Maybe that's why. Oh, like, yeah, no, you might have a point. You might have a point. Maybe Max pushed for it. He's the one who wants the spotlight. Sonoda's going to give him the spotlight because Sonoda's not worth a damn. I think you're on to something. I think you're on to something. Compared to Checo, yeah, Sonoda's not even worth a damn. Max will have all the spotlight. Well, at least for Red Bull. Not like he wasn't getting it anyway. Not like he wasn't getting it anyway. Olabi Bellawoo gets a yellow card. Lattori's down. That'll be a free kick. But no, Lewis Hamilton might be as narcissistic as Max Verstappen. He might just be. And Jeff Gordon, oh, if you want to go NASCAR, no, Jeff Gordon is way more narcissistic. Jeff Gordon, Max Verstappen wishes he was Jeff Gordon. Hell, you freaking put Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen together, you still wouldn't get Jeff Gordon. You still wouldn't get Jeff Gordon with how narcissistic that man is. You still wouldn't. I'm sorry. You still wouldn't. He wasn't using a fake. Dude, I saw the e-racing. I saw the e-racing leaderboard. He was using his name, and he had the fastest lap. And then he won Imola. Like, dude, like, that's crazy, though. That's crazy, though. Doing iRacing, my bad, iRacing, getting the fastest lap, and then winning Imola hours later. Okay, sure. Free kick for Montreal. That makes sense. Well, who is Gordon? Who's Dale in that situation? Well, I still think Lewis Hamilton is Gordon. I still think Lewis Hamilton's Jeff Gordon. Point blank, period. I don't like Lewis Hamilton for the same reasons I don't like Jeff Gordon. It's pretty damn similar. Dale, there's no Dale in F1. The closest thing you could have to Dale in F1 is Ayrton Senna. Right? You ain't got no Dale. Right now, there ain't no Dale in F1. There ain't no Dale. That's an insult to Dale Earnhardt to compare anybody else but Lewis Hamilton on the grid right now to Dale Earnhardt. Even Junior, that'd be an insult. Dude, like, the closest you could say is Mick Schumacher or Michael Schumacher or Ayrton Senna is Dale. But you know damn well if Ayrton Senna was still around, he would wash Lewis Hamilton 10 times every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Just like Dale would have washed anybody in NASCAR if he was still here today. Once a week and twice on Sunday. You know what would happen. Same with Michael Schumacher. He'd wash anybody if he was still racing. Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Like, there's nobody on the current grid you could say, yeah, no, that's Dale, or even Dale Jr. Best you could probably get is Kyle Larson. Best you could probably ask for is a Kyle Larson, which, you know. Dale is Dale. Franz Erman, heard that name? Yeah. Oh. I mean, Dale was good. Dale Jr. was good. I mean, he wasn't his dad, but he's not a Nepo baby. Like, Dale did do pretty good himself. Dale Jr. did pretty good himself. I thought he was pretty solid himself. He wasn't a Nepo baby. He wasn't a total Nepo baby, at least. That's why I like Dale Jr. too. I mean, he did respect to his father's name. He didn't totally shit on it. He wasn't a total Nepo baby that was a waste of time. I mean, there's a difference, yeah? Like, if he was a waste of time Nepo baby and never really won, it'd be a different discussion. I mean, yeah, he ain't his father, but Nobody's Dale Sr. Nobody. Like, even comparing Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher, F1-wise, to Dale Sr. is still kind of an insult, but it's not as much of an insult as saying anybody on the grid now is Dale Sr. Dale Sr.'s one of a kind, man. He was one of a kind. Like, you ain't never. Nobody NASCAR now is Dale Sr. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody has the heart that Dale Sr. had. Nobody has the offensive skills, driving-wise, that Dale Sr. had. Nobody has the heart, the fight, the will, the intimidation factor. Nobody does. Nobody. That was one of a kind. One of a kind. So, I'm not going to say Dale Jr. was a Nepo baby. He was good himself. I mean, he still wasn't his father, but he was good. Like, the closest you might could say is back when Tony Stewart was racing in NASCAR. That might have been, which I was a pretty big Tony Stewart fan as well. Tony Stewart, that's probably as close as you could have gotten. Tony Stewart tried. He still wasn't Dale Sr., but he tried. He tried. He tried. How we doing, Nestor? 30th minute. But you know what's funny? Like, Tony Stewart raced open wheel. He could have been an F1 because he did IndyCar at the start of his career. It would have been nice to see Tony Stewart do F1. Which, the funny part is Haas, of course, also had Stewart Haas Racing, so he could have totally jumped in the Haas car. Either way, that would have been funny. 31st minute. But, yeah. That's just a highlight from last game. Okay, I was like, 9 minutes. Playing Ford, Montreal. I mean, it's pretty what you would expect. I mean, Corbianu being there, I'm happy with it. I'd like to see Corbianu make Canada's full squad. I'm surprised Richie Larea's on it, but turns out he's working with the main team, headed away by Forge. You know, I'm happy with the squad. It's a good squad. It's a good squad. I would hope that there's a lot of players that are on it, but it's about what you expect. It's about what you would expect. Corner for Forge. We'll be here for the Europa League final tomorrow, of course. It's like, it's about what you would expect, I think. Throw in. Blocked away. Playing forward. Y'all have a tough group. I wouldn't say that. "35th minute. I mean, if you call Miami losing, getting upset, no, yeah, sure. Sure. Oh, like, I think there are upsets bound, of course. It depends on how people look at the tournament. I also think Miami, I think the upset is the referees can't stop Miami from losing. Like, they're going to try to build Miami as this unbeatable team, and then they lose all 3 games in the group stage because they suck right now. And Mascherano's not even cut out to be a manager. So if you want to call those upsets, I mean, yeah. I'm sure there'll be actual upsets, though. No, he's injured. He tore his ACL. That'd be crazy if he did. Hell, that'd be even crazier than Marcus Stroman coming back in 5 months from a torn ACL. I didn't even know 2 months was possible. I didn't know Alphonso Davies was John Cena. It'd be awesome, but no. Throw in for Forge, 36th minute. Free kick for Forge. Over the top. Headed on. Cleared away. "37th minute. Well, playing forward. Forge is, I think they're playing well. I think Montreal are starting to get their moments, but overall, Forge still looks like the better team. And away goals, again, do not matter. I don't know why they made that decision finally, but they did. Playing forward. Right. What is he doing, man? He just lost the ball, dude. Like, what, at least the second time? Playing forward. Oh! See, this is why it's, even if you're the better team, you need to get some of those chances finished. Just saying. 38th minute. Cleared away. If that happens, you're probably right, but still. Playing forward, 39th minute. Ooh, playing forward. Jensen loses the ball. Jaramovic plays it forward. Babuli tried to spin and pass it in, and you're probably right. They'll probably rig it just a little bit to at least get Mexico there. You're probably right, but what do I know? Probably right, but thrown forward by Sawa 5 minutes ago before stoppage time. Playing forward. Ball crossed in, headed away by Forge. Montreal's had a couple of chances here and there. I'd still say Forge has been the better team. Shot over the bar. Colot would have got beaten if that didn't go high. Playing forward. Playing forward, Forge. Setting up a chance here. Oh. Shot! Oh, right. Wasn't there to pop it in. Damn. Just barely. Just barely doesn't get there. Oh. Carlos Rotondi. Let's see what this news is. Carlos Rotondi informed the board of his intention to leave Cruz Azul. The board is evaluating his possible transfer during the market. So, boa noite. Boa noite. Montreal playing forward. Ooh. "43rd minute. Playing forward, throws on. Forge has it. They can build something, and from behind, Prince Owuzu gets the tackle to clear. Good steal by Wright. Sets up some shot wide by Forge. Madrid zone. Breaking. Real Madrid are seriously considering making a Galactico signing this summer. It'd be after the Club World Cup. His identity is unclear, but he would cost more than 100 million euros. "44th minute. Can you show the game? If I do, I get a copyright strike. So more like a radio call. Montreal playing forward. Playing forward. Steps back. Montreal sitting on possession right before stoppage time. 1 minute to go before that. Nil-nil still through the first half. Good steal by Akinyoti Janssen. He gets brought down. Free kick for Kolalot and Forge. Final minute of the first half. Playing forward. Oh, pushes off Bellawoo. That'll be a throw-in for Forge. Nope. No, it is a Forge throw-in. Jaramovic. '45th minute. How much stoppage time are we going to get? We will get some. 1 minute. 1 minute of stoppage time. Well, I don't... If they were going to go with a non-Brazilian coach, Ancelotti's the one you go for. I don't think he destroyed. I think he probably will give them their best chance to win in freaking ages. But that's just me. $30 to go. Throw in here with 20 seconds to go before the whistle's blown. Jaramovic goes down. Free kick. And that's halftime. 0-0 at the half of this first leg of the quarters. We'll have 45 more minutes to see where this ends and sits for a month and a half. Because for some dumb reason, the second leg's in July. Well, I don't know about dumb reason, but Gold Cup and Club World Cup probably are the reason. But probably. Well, actually, if Canada goes far enough, Montreal still might be affected by the Gold Cup when that second leg comes around. So, really? Are they trying to take the chance of the fact that maybe they won't be affected and Canada won't go that far? We'll find out. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, man. I don't know. With that being said, nil-nil. 45 minutes through. We'll take a short break at the half, talk about the stats, get this one going, sit tight. We will be back. June 14th, the Gold Cup begins. I think the Club World Cup begins. But sit tight, be back. 0-0. We're back for the stats at the half. How we doing, Isaiah? I'm not, but I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I'd love to see Ange win the Europa League final. That would be cool to watch. And I'd be happy for him. I want Tottenham to win for Ange. Even though, honestly, I'd prefer it. But we'll see what happens. I'll be live for it, and I'll review it. I don't know exactly what I'll be wearing. Still got to figure that out. But we'll see. Excuse me. We'll see what I do there. But with that being said, I'd prefer winning a Europa League with Ajax. Stats of the half: 63% possession is 37% possession. 4 shots, 2. 0 shots on goal to 0. 203 accurate passes, 86% to 101, 78%. 7 fouls to 10. 4 corners to 2. 4 shots to 2. 0 shots on goal to 0. 235 pass to 130. 86% pass accuracy to 78. 10 throws to 5. 1 offside to 2, 2 yellow cards to 1, 0 red cards, 0, 0-0 at the half. I think Forge is the better team. I think Forge has been the better team. They've been stronger. They had a really good chance. And are we back for the second half? What? 4 minutes to start the second half. No, okay, those are highlights. I was like. But yeah, Forge was the better team so far. I think they want this more. They're at their own stadium. That definitely helps. And Montreal, they've had moments, slight moments, but Forge have been way better as this game has gone. They've tried to figure it out to get this game their way. I gotta say, if you're Forge, you just gotta keep working on it, keep pushing to make sure this game goes your way. But they scored an offside goal. They put the ball in the back of the net. The question is can they keep putting the ball in the back of the net or find a way to actually put it in there that counts? Away goals don't matter. As a reminder, away goals don't matter anymore in the Can Champ, semifinals and quarters. So to win a tie, you have to win outright. If it's tied after 90 of the second leg or tied after 180, penalties. So, but that we deal with that in July. July, yes. We deal with that in July. That possibility in July. But I think Forge is the better team. Montreal is not a good football side. They're not a good team. Club World Cup's on TNT. Oh, they fully put it on TNT? I hope the stream of the games is 100% on time then, unlike hockey. So they've put all the Club World Cup games on TNT. Okay. You know, I like that. I like that. Wait. Well, the problem is, though, Club World Cup starts right at the end of the Stanley Cup final. But DAZN will still be for free when the Club World Cup, for the Club World Cup matches. So, worst comes to worst. Already have DAZN, ironically. But I think in Canada it will just be DAZN because they can't sell the rights. Who knows? Maybe TUDNA will put on some Club World Cup games, especially if America makes it, because God knows that's probably how they probably got put into the playoff. Yeah, they were top ranked, but they also offered us a lot of money to show games on TUDNA. I'm not surprised, really. They both suck. Which sucks, honestly. Hopefully, TUDNA and TNT get enough games where I don't have to sign up for DAZN. That would be nice. Should be looked at as a big deal. Yeah, you would think. But people are looking at it like what it should be looked at as a big deal. I think Timbers are going to win. Second half's about to start. Here's the thing about the Club World Cup. I think it should be looked at as a big deal. I think it should be a big deal. But is it a cash grab to expand it? Yeah, it is. It is. I won't lie. But there is a part of it that is a cash grab. The fact they expanded it. But the amount of propaganda that's went into painting this pro-European club, we're only going because they finally got us to go, gave us the perfect deal, but we're still going absolutely propagandize against it anyway, is honestly kind of sad. But again, to have a Club World Cup like this, you had to have the European clubs, because if you didn't, you'd be between a rock and a hard place. It wouldn't be looked at as serious if you didn't have the European clubs, and the European clubs are kind of propagandizing it to make it take a shot at it, even though they're going to be there. It's weird. And that kind of shows me that, that kind of shows me that the Club World Cup, when it comes to European teams, I think some of the European teams won't take it that seriously. I think some European teams, because it's right at the start of what would be their off season, they're going to take it about as lightly as they can, and they'll still probably advance that way to the knockout stage. I think Chelsea's going to ironically take it seriously, because I think Chelsea, ironically, will take it seriously because they have a lot of... I think them taking it seriously might give them a chance to win the whole damn thing. And I think they see that themselves as well. I really believe Chelsea's going to take it seriously. If they won the big Club World Cup, will that delude me into thinking Chelsea's going to win the Premier League next year? No. Or even the Champions League if they make the Champions League? No. Because I know that some of the European clubs that were there ain't taking it seriously. And then the other European clubs that might take it seriously are lower level anyway. Like Man City, I don't know if they'll take it seriously. I agree, man. Well, yeah, because I'm rooting for Forge. And then if you think about it, Man City, it depends on how they look at it. Would this technically not be a trophyless season if Man City win the Club World Cup, it depends on how you look at it. Is the Club World Cup a 2024-25 trophy or a 25-26 trophy? Because Man City, for now, has gone trophyless. For now, they have gone trophyless for 24-25. But depending on how you look at the Club World Cup, whether it's the tail end of this past season that's about to end or at the start of next season, Man City might not be trophyless in 24-25 if they win the Club World Cup, to some people's discretions. Because if they win the Club World Cup, to some people, that will count as a 2024-25 trophy, like a tail end of 24-25 trophy. The last chance you had, you didn't go trophyless. And Rodri is back. So, and of course, they won today. He didn't play that much, but Man City won today because Rodri was playing. I'm sure they'll win their final game when Rodri plays more. It'll look just like they used to. So I think Man City, I think they'll take the Club World Cup seriously because they kind of have to. Chelsea, I think they want to take it seriously because they know with the European clubs that are there, some of them won't take it seriously. If Chelsea takes it seriously, they have a better chance to win it. I can see Chelsea going deep if they take it seriously. Nice. Yep, Toluca made the final, and honestly, I think they can. It's a 50-50 shot. But America has 2 games to win Tetracampeon. Toluca has 2 games to end America's generational run. And we'll be live for both because the Leafs choked like a, like a beep. Finish the word. So, we'll be here for both legs of the Liga MX Clausura final. It still worked out. Maybe not the whole Liga, but we're still here for the final. It all worked out. And this Can Champ game. Yep. Smart. Nice. Already set up the first leg stream. Tomorrow we'll be here for the Europa League final, but we were always going to be here for that. We were always going to be here for the Europa League final. That wasn't going to change. And we'll review that as well. I thought it was going to be Leafs Oilers. Even before Game 7, I thought it would be Leafs Oilers. Right now, I think it's going to be Oilers Panthers again. Go Big Ol. If it's Edmonton, I'll be there no matter what. Well, yeah. I always do the UEFA finals anyway. So, I'm saying the Leafs losing changed my schedule a little bit, but I would have been live Tuesday, Thursday anyway, had they won Game 7. They didn't, but instead of Leafs, it's Can Champ quarterfinal leg 1, Liga MX final leg 1 on Tuesday and Thursday. So this would have still been an on day no matter what happened. It's just this is the other opportunity. Still 0-0, 52nd minute, Forge playing forward. I mean, yeah, I'm surprised. I shouldn't have picked the Kings. I think a lot of people picked the Kings. Nobody expected the Kings to totally just get pummeled as soon as they made that challenge. And then the Oilers are back to what they were. But I want the Oilers to win it all. Yeah. I'll be good with that. Go Big Ol. I rooted for the Oilers last year. I'll do it again if they make it again. Whether it's Carolina or Florida, but especially Florida. Yeah. And if it's Florida, Edmonton, I might do a couple games of that series. It's a maybe. It's a maybe. We'll see what's going on. There's a slight percentage possibility that I'd try to do a couple of games in the Stanley Cup final if it's Edmonton, Florida again. At least game 7. But we'll see. 54th minute. Dude, Calvin Pickard was a former Marley, a former Leafs prospect. I should have expected him to go off. That's the funny thing. Like, dude, Calvin Pickard was a former Leafs prospect. I should have expected him to go off. I should have expected him to have a series like that. I should have. But then again, because that's actually how these things go. He was a former Leafs prospect. Yeah. '55th minute. Yep. I mean, the Minnesota Wild, like, I wasn't surprised the Knights went down like they did against the Oilers because the Minnesota Wild just made the Knights look like frauds. Like, that series was too damn tight. Like, the Vegas Minnesota series was way too damn tight. Like, they let Minnesota have way too much life. They still put them down in the end, and not in 7, but it was kind of similar to Toronto, Ottawa, but even more fraudulent. Like, I won't lie, some parts of that Toronto, Ottawa series was pretty damn fraudulent. I'm not saying that, and honestly, Toronto still did better against Florida than Vegas did against Edmonton, but no, I mean, that Minnesota series was like totally a well, thank you. Yep. But I mean, Vegas was obviously fraudulent. Like, Minnesota wasn't even that good. Like, I'm surprised Minnesota survived into the playoffs other than Calgary. Like, I feel like Minnesota, well, I guess they did deserve to be there because Minnesota had a pretty tough playoff. But going in, I thought Minnesota was a joke. I thought Calgary probably deserved it more to be there. But, man, Minnesota, the way they fought throughout that series, I mean, they proved me wrong. Even though they lost, Minnesota's better off than I thought. They're better off than I thought. They really are. They really are. But they'll make the playoffs again next year. I'm pretty sure of it. Yep. Cross in. Knights are a slow team when they lose possession. This Oilers team isn't the same one from 23 that had no depth outside of Draisaitl and RNH. McDavid was clamped up. Yeah, man. Zach Hyman. The name be Zach Hyman and Connor Brown. By the way, former Leafs. Just so you know. Again. Man, I really want Zach Hyman and Connor Brown to win a cup. I really want them to, because they were former Leafs, and I was a fan of them when they were on the Leafs because they were always tough. They always played tough. They always played hard. Connor Brown and Zach Hyman always played with a fire in their belly, and they still do. I'm still a fan of them both. Unlike Mitch Marner. See, I wish Mitch Marner played like Connor Brown and Zach Hyman. I wish the Leafs kept those guys over him when Montreal happened. But no. They let them walk and kept Marner for 4 more years. And look where we are now. Look where we are now. We would have been so better off if we had Nyes. Just imagine a Matthew Nyes and Zach Hyman line centered by Austin Matthews. Just imagine. Just imagine. Oh my God. Like, even if Matthews was hurt, you'd still have 2 scoring threats. Dude, that would... Man, I shouldn't be... No. A Zach Hyman, Matthew Nyes, Austin Matthews line. Oh my God. That would have beat the Florida Panthers. I don't care if Austin didn't score. Just like in real life. Samuel Piette and Seeley coming on from Montreal. Man, if Zach Hyman and Matthew Nyes were on the same line as Austin Matthews, they would have beat Florida. They would have. Because the good news is at least we have Matthew Nyes. He basically is Zach Hyman 2.0. But what if they were on the same team? Oh my, instead of Mitch Marner and Matthew Nyes. Just saying. I agree. Of course, now they start calling shit on him because he ain't playing the Leafs. Good job, Colin Campbell. Why are you in the Hall of Fame still? Get him out of there. Best Canadian footballer right now, Jonathan David. Kaprizov back, Eriksson Ek. That was huge, yeah. Yeah, that did surprise me, but I still thought the Oilers were the better team. Playing forward, Forge. Ampoma loses the ball. Babuli. Dumped in for Becker. Becker loses it. But you know what? I won't even lie. I'm starting to warm up to the fact the Leafs might sign him in the offseason. Or Marchand. You know what? I wouldn't have a problem, though. Like, if the Leafs signed Brad Marchand, I'm not actually going to complain about that. Like, Brad Marchand's like the type of guy you would cheer for if he was on your team. Because, well, I did when he was on Team Canada for the 4 Nations and all that. Like, it wasn't a problem. Sam Bennett, I mean, I was happy he scored in the final. I mean, go back to the freaking 4 Nations stream. But I don't know if I'd really like to cheer for Bennett if he was on our team, on the Leafs. But, you know, if the Leafs signed Bennett and Marchand, sure. They'd win in the playoffs. Well, no, they would call. Bennett would have to clean up his game a little bit, but he was a little bit cleaner with the Calgary Flames, so I think he knows if there wasn't a Colin Campbell type thing to save the Leafs or save him from suspensions. And now he's on the Leafs. I think he knows he have to clean up his game a little bit. He could still be gritty, but I think he'd have to clean up his game a little bit. But I just want the grit, you know. And how funny would it be if Anthony Stolarz and Sam Bennett were at the same locker room during training camp and be like, here we are. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to warm up to it. Well, I didn't know she was going to do that. But I guess cool. Yep. Or maybe flawed, but damn, they did the same stuff last year. They were 1 game away. Having Bouchard helps too. Yeah. Bouchard. Boosh bomb. Bobrovsky, Laval. Kulak and Perry for the Habs. Well, that'd be hard to do since they're golfing right now. That'd be hard to do since they're golfing right now. And freaking Bryson DeChambeau's not giving us a stream of that golf game. I don't know if they're golfing with Bryson DeChambeau, but you know what I mean. Exactly. What did I say during the rant? If we had Rantanen, we probably would have won. Because Rantanen's a tough player. He's not Mitch Marner. Rantanen over Marner. Like, the dude's going for Conn Smythe. We would have beat Florida with Rantanen. Saved by Kolalot. We would have beat Florida with Rantanen with Matthews and Nyes. We would have. We didn't need Zach Hyman. I'm just saying, like, Marner is the problem. Like I said, Rantanen on the Leafs, he's tough. It's not like he's just skill. Rantanen's a tough player. He knows how to get dirty, but he knows how to also turn it on during the playoffs. We saw that in 22. We saw it this year. He's going for Conn Smythe right now. You're telling me he couldn't score that many points on the Leafs with Matthew Nyes and Matthews on his line? Are you kidding me? You kidding me? He scored more than Marner at least. And no, he's not a McKinnon merchant. I think we figured that out already. Yep. Forge is still better. Still 0-0 though, 65th minute. Yeah. That was a freaking good trade. Nylander, Austin, Rantanen, Nyes, Tavares, Holmberg would make great lines, and Willie and Nyes shifting up and down the lines would be deadly. Exactly. We could have had that for like 8 years. And then Easton Cowan pops in when it's time next year, being Rama playing forward. Yep. Yep. Exactly. What would be funny if Rantanen wins the cup after beating the Avs in the first round and then beating Carolina in the Stanley Cup final? That would be funny. Well, not for Isaiah, but and not for Winvo either. But it'd be funny if Rantanen in the first round beat his former team, the one he's known for, and then bookends it in the Stanley Cup final with beating the team he played for like 2 weeks that he never wanted to play for anyway. But whatever. He still played for him, though. Never thought he was a full McKinnon merchant, but he needs great playmaking, center to play make, so he could be the trail guy, sometimes a decoy who passes well. Hintz is great for that. Yeah. Lamau. He's right. Kadri was right. You don't trade players like Rantanen, especially if you want to contend for a Stanley Cup. Rantanen, you let him play it out. You see what the hell happens in the summer. If he doesn't want to stay, so be it. If you win the cup, it's all worth it. If you don't, so be it. But again, what? I don't think Colorado got true value for him. Honestly, I think Carolina did better getting true value for Rantanen than freaking Colorado did. Stankoven was a freaking steal by Carolina. Like, Carolina got one of the best young players out of the deal with freaking Dallas for Rantanen, and they only had him for 2 weeks. Colorado, I'm not saying they had a bad deal, but certainly I think Carolina did a better job trading him than Colorado did. I think Colorado would have been better off. And then ironically enough, guess what? The team you play is the team he went to in the end and knocked you out. If you had him, that wouldn't happen. I think, but Kadri was spot on. Like, I think that's a free kick. I think that's a bad take. Like, people are blaming the fans, but that's playing straight into the mentality of these players. Like, do you want them to blow up the team? Don't blame the fans. Like, if you're going to keep on playing like, oh, they have the noise. Doug Gilmour never had a problem with the noise. Darcy Tucker never had a problem with the noise. And you said, but they never won a Stanley Cup. But at least Darcy Tucker, even when they were losing, showed fight. Sundin, when they were losing, showed fight. Caberlet, Brian McCabe, Potvin, Cujo, Sundin, well, I already said Sundin, Gilmour, Vive. Those guys showed fight. Like, it's different. If the Leafs would have lost 2-1, Game 7, okay, Game 5 happened, but you basically dropped to redo a Game 5. Are you surprised that people would get that pissed? And then in between that, you shut out the Panthers in Florida. You're telling me you'd rather play on the road? Then why'd you get home ice in the first place? Why'd you win the division in the first place? If you're so worried about playing at home, why'd you win the division in the first place? Why? Why? What, just to make the pain that much worse when you obviously did lose? No, I'm not going to sit here and believe that. No. The fans aren't the problem. If you believe that, and if you're pushing that narrative, whether you're an opponent or a Leafs fan, saying, oh, we're the problem or you're the problem, no. Because Doug Gilmour never said words like that. Because Darcy Tucker never said words like, oh, I blame the fans. No, they put their hearts on their sleeve. If they lost, they lost. I've never seen that out of the core four. Matthew Nyes is more like Darcy Tucker and Matt Sundin and Doug Gilmour. That man put his heart on his sleeve. He didn't blame shit. He didn't blame the fans. He said, yeah, we weren't good enough. He took accountability. John Tavares, he took accountability. He's older, but he took accountability. Willie, he kind of did. Stallers, Wool, they took accountability. Berube took accountability. I didn't see accountability from Austin or Mitch. And that's what matters. One of them's going to be gone, and one shouldn't have the C. So do with that what you will. Because the Habs fight. See, because the Habs don't give a... The Habs take the disrespect they get and put on a bulletin board. Suzuki is a damn good captain. That kid stands up. That's a captain. And he fights. The thing I respect about the Habs, and I have no hate for the Habs, okay? The real rivalry for Toronto, Montreal now is TFC and Impact. That's just what it is now. I honestly, I like watching the Habs play. I have respect for them, but they fight for their city. They fight for their crest. Suzuki doesn't let those guys fall apart. Demidov, look at how he plays. Look at how Hudson plays. They're a good young team who actually knows how to fight. And that's the difference. They take the disrespect they get, put on a bulletin board, and they play harder because of it. The Leafs say, oh, no, don't say bad things about us. No, we're just soft. We're just soft kids. Please don't. See, there's your difference. They cry. Don't you dare say a bad word about the Leafs. Pierce with a shot over the bar. At least his current era. Again, Matt Sundin would never. Darcy Tucker would never. Ty Domi would never. I know. Because I watched him. Exactly. Still 0-0. Yeah. I wish the Leafs still had Kadri. Speaking of, Verhaeghe scored, of course, finally. Yeah, I agree. I wish the Leafs kept Kadri myself, but fair enough. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Brock Nelson, the Leafs want to sign him this summer if he's a FA. Which, you know what? I wouldn't mind that. Brock Nelson with Tavares, I wouldn't mind that at all. 74th minute, 0-0. Still. And that should be a free kick for Forge. Yes, it is. '74th minute. So far, Forge I wouldn't say they're still the better team, but Montreal are holding on and not allowing anything. Huh. Well, that's funny. Logan Stankoven has joined Ville Lino as the second player to skate in both a Western and Eastern Conference Final as a rookie. Because he was still a rookie. He still had rookie status. Shot, save, and Poma not there. Babuli, cross off the side netting. Because Logan Stankoven was a rookie last year. His rookie status continued through this year, and he skated in the Eastern Conference Final. Brock's walking. We all knew this. He wants to go to his hometown Wild. Question is, would he consider Canada after blocking the Jets because he didn't want to play in Canada? Well, I mean, the fact the Leafs are talking about signing him, I guess he just didn't want to go to Winnipeg. And Toronto's closer to Minnesota than Winnipeg. Well, no, well, well, depends. Nylander Tavares should be captain. Tavares and Nyes. No. I like Willie, but keep him with an A. Nyes. Tavares and Nyes should be captain. One of the two. You keep Tavares. If you could put the C back on Tavares, you put the C back on him. I don't care. If you get rid of Tavares, you put the C on Nyes. Or if you could put the C back on Tavares, you put it on him until he leaves, then put it on Nyes, because Austin shouldn't be the C. Nyes is captain material. He will be captain one day, and I can't wait for that, because Matthew Nyes, if he stays with the Leafs for his whole career, he's going to be a captain one day. I believe it. He should be now. But yeah, I agree with that. As they should. Man, the Habs could get even better. Yep. Hey, y'all don't have an airport. That's probably why. Hey, Winnipeg doesn't even have an airport. That's probably why I can't go all out. Honestly, if Carolina made the final and they were playing Dallas, I don't know who I'd root for. I don't know who I'd root for. Like, rooting for Carolina because they're the Hurricanes and they have Rod Brindamore, and I want to see him win a cup as a coach. Or I really respect Pete DeBoer, especially after that mic'd up handshake line. Dallas, I have no hate for. Rantanen wins a cup again. DeBoer finally gets his. Sagan, I could take that or leave that. Ekblad scores for the Panthers. Goal for Forge. Brian Wright scores, and it's 1-0 Forge. They finally get it. They finally get the goal they've been waiting for. Finally. It would have been a heartbreaker if they didn't come out of this game with a goal, and Forge gets it. Brian Wright scores. The former York 9-man now scores a goal for Forge in the Can Champ. Cross in by Ampoma. Falls to right, and he just pops it over Sawa. Headed in. Pops it over Sawa. Runs onto the header and heads it in. Beautiful. He does. I'm not surprised. It's kind of funny. Cruz's will choke the same day the Leafs choked. We're the same. I hate it for him, though. What a play to score that goal. 1-0 for Forge. 78th minute. And that should be enough for them to hold on to the lead after the first leg, but it's going to be tight in the second. No away goals, though. I don't know whether I should laugh or cry. Because I remember the John Ferguson era, John Ferguson Jr. Leafs. That wasn't fun. Dude, that's what I grew up with. Like, the first Leafs team that I was a fan of was the John Ferguson Jr. era. He traded Tuukka Rask for Vesa Toskala. Dude, I don't know if I should laugh or cry. I mean, yeah, the impact are, Saputo's very similar to John Ferguson Jr., but just, I don't know if I should laugh or cry. Oh, Raycroft, my bad. No, he traded Raycroft for Rask, my bad. And then Vesa Toskala, my bad. Blech. Raycroft for Rask. Vesa Toskala was, my bad, I'm sorry. Raycroft was a joke and Toskala was a joke, but that was still my early childhood. Yeah, Toskala still was my early childhood, though. Like, what, 2007, 2000? Yeah. That was a joke. My bad. Raycroft for Rask. Toskala was floating around somewhere. I think he was on the team. My bad. I mean, he still traded. Rask was better than both. You get my point. My bad. That was my bad. Liga Meki's a scam. Yep. Either way. I mean, yeah, Toskala was there too in my early childhood. He was horrible. Raycroft was horrible. Guess what Tuukka Rask does? Wins a cup with Boston, yes. Oh, also beats the Leafs multiple times in the playoffs. And then, John Ferguson Jr. went to the Bruins to be their GM. Raycroft for Rask. Toskala was there. Yeah, no. Mid-2000s. Raycroft for Rask. Toskala was there. Dude. My bad. That's my second. My brain misplaced something. They do all sports, yes. Akinyoda Janssen, especially European, but in theory they could do American sports, but it never gets that high. Funnily enough, no, Tom Brady just took his suspension to the Supreme Court. Weirdly enough. American exceptionalism, I guess. I don't know. But in theory, I guess he could have taken it to Cass, but, in theory, but, whatever. No, hopefully not. 83rd minute. Forge winning 1-0. Hold on. Raycroft, 2000. Oh, he played for Djurgården. 2006, Raycroft traded to the Leafs. Vesa Toskala. See, that's what, there we go. That's what I remember. 2007, 2008, Raycroft struggled, surrendered starting position to Vesa Toskala. They were on the team at the same time, and they were both shit. There we go. Thank you. They were both shit. The trade happened in 06 for Raycroft for Rask. Toskala was on the team at the same time. They were both shit. I'm not surprised. Here we go. We'll see what happens. I mean, I would hope not. You should have bad blood with Sakic instead, if anything. Me too. Or in CONCACAF. Or somehow they both make CONCACAF and they play each other in CONCACAF, Montreal and Toronto. I want that so badly. You know, like Toronto gets in through Can Champ or MLS and then Montreal does the opposite and boom, you know. Or hell, next year, maybe Montreal's still playing Leafs Cup. Who knows? Maybe they'll get top 3. No, they won't. But what if they did? And Toronto somehow shockingly made CONCACAF through MLS spots. But yeah, like I want something like that. I mean, yeah, the 401 Derby is the 401 Derby. But if it happened in CONCACAF or the playoffs, damn. That'd be crazy. Huh. And then 2007, Toskala got traded to the Leafs for their 13th pick that was Lars Eller. And then they traded all those picks to the Blues. '86 minute. Probably. '87th minute, 1-0 Forge. If the Oilers beat, well, 4 American teams to win the Cup, well, you didn't freak out about LA either. So, I think he was right. I think he was right overall. I hope he does. I hope he does. Substitution, Brian Wright's coming off for Kane. And Poma's off as well. Perfectly, Kone on for Ampoma. You know, I'd say it's perfectly rated because Raising Cane's is awesome. It's awesome. Like, dude, you're wrong if you don't like Raising Cane's. Like, it is an awesome restaurant. Perfectly rated. Perfectly. Yeah. Popeye's is better by far. Well, Popeye's chicken is better than KFC chicken. Their mashed potatoes and biscuits, no. But if you're going by chicken, still not better than Cane's, though, but better than KFC. Playing forward, 89th minute. McDonald's overrated or underrated? Overrated. And it's gotten more overrated as time has gone on. I don't even want to go to McDonald's anymore. And besides, if I wanted hash brown patties, I could just buy like an Orata box at freaking Walmart and freaking bake them myself, you know? And I think Hardee's does them as patties during the breakfast. But what I could do is if I wanted hash brown patties for breakfast, I could just go buy some from freaking Walmart from like an Orata box and like freaking bake them myself and make like 4 for less than buying them at McDonald's. So, you know, do that what you will. That's like the one thing I miss. And besides white hot chocolate, buy a box of Swiss Miss. There you go. 2-1 for the Canes, or for the Florida Panthers over the Hurricanes. I know. I saw the documentary about Ray Kroc. Goal for the Hurricanes. Aho 2-1. Good for him. 90th minute. Yeah. You might be, well, I don't think you're wrong, even if I've never had before. 5 minutes of stoppage time. I basically like Shake Shack. Six-1 says what? Wait, 6-1 says what? Wendy's is super mid. I think it's better than McDonald's. I've never heard of that, Blitzo. So, 91st minute. Target overrated or underrated? Overrated. Target is, dude, if you want high class shit, go to a high class store. You know, like Target's like, I bought this shirt from Target. Be like, you shouldn't have told me that. It actually looks pretty good. Now you're just telling me you're flexing. Okay. 91st minute. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll take that as a draw. Fair enough. 91st minute. All jokes. That's what the Leafs are. You're not wrong. I'll still root for them, though. So, what does that say about me? What does that say about me? Yeah. But I'm talking about the close. I'm talking about the close. Like, dude. 2-1 at the end of the first. Yeah. Player down, 92nd minute. Like, I mean, Target is, well, you know, I like Taco Bell. You know, I like Taco Bell. Probably overrated, but I like Taco Bell. And it's never made me have diarrhea, so, or the bubble guts. So I don't know what you're complaining about. I like Taco Bell. It might be overrated, but I like it. So yeah, fair enough. Forge has a 1-0 lead. '93rd minute. I don't want Chipotle, so I'm not basic. Besides, I think Chipotle lost its soul a while ago. You should have went to Kohl's. You should have went to Kohl's. Honestly, I think it may have been a little bit cheaper, but Kohl's doesn't seem like flexing to me, you know? Like Target does. Kohl's is good. Or Macy's. There's a good men's section at Macy's as well. Yeah. Kohl's ain't bad, though. Who's winning Europa League final? You know what? I'm going to call it Spurs. I think Spurs are winning tomorrow. I have a funny feeling. Ange Postecoglou is going to aura form with the best of them tomorrow. He wins things in his second season. The last chance he had to do it for Spurs, he does it. Tottenham beats Man United tomorrow. Ange Postecoglou proves himself right and aura farms with the best of them. Has the biggest aura farming moment of all time. And you know what? I want to see it happen because I like Ange Postecoglou. It's not that I like Spurs. I don't really like Spurs, but I'm a fan of Ange because of Celtic. Only because of Ange. That's why I want them to win, and I think they will win. Because do it for Ange is basically what I'm saying. Yep. Told you Forge would do it. '95th minute. Hey, I'm a Leafs fan. I never had it. Hey, I'm a Leafs fan. I never had it. I know how to give hope. I know how to hope for teams who never have any hope. So do that what you will. Chelsea still want them to win the Europa Conference League, which I'll be rooting for that next week. 95th minute goal kick for Colalot. 1-0 Forge. Exactly. Well, it's going bankrupt, so what do you think? Besides, I have nothing. I'm a dude. Why would I go to Forever 21? But it's going bankrupt anyway, so what do you think that says? 96th minute. Montreal playing forward. I would agree with that. Headed away. 96th minute. They haven't blown the whistle yet, which is crazy. Yeah. And that's full time. Forge wins the first leg 1-0. They will take that to July at Stade Saputo. July 9th, the second leg, which that's just stupid, but that it's that far away, but okay. Full-time stats, boom, we'll deal with that. Forge wins, and they deserve to. Over. 1-0 for Forge. Under. Under for Arby's. Vancouver leads Valor 1-0. Of course they do. With that being said, oh, they put it on a Saudi game. I think it's on FS2, but either way. With that being said, Forge wins 1-0. And we move. Good win. Way overrated. If you like this stream, Like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribe. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you within the hour for the review of this game. Forge wins 1-0, deservedly so. I will see you later. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace.